Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Chute. I'm Brandon Carpenter. With me is my esteemed colleague Calen and oldest son. And what have you got for us today, Calen? Stump the chump.
This is not necessarily Stump the Chump. This is going to be, I'm looking at my calendar. This should be coming out around the same time that is our 1 year anniversary on YouTube. I think it was October 11th, if I remember the date right on the YouTube channel. This will come out on the 12th of October. So we have grown significantly as of this date. The recording date is the end of September, so the 26th of September of 21, and we've gotten just over 130 subscribers. We have about 130 videos or so. Maybe it's more than that. We've got quite a few likes. I'd like to grow some more, but hey, we're getting there. But it's been a year, and then the other thing too is like we've got like 16,000 views.
Subscribe,
like
bell,
comment, subscribe.
whatever it is you always say.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I'm the technical director here. So
what are some things? I'm kind of the guy that does the button pushing and some of the editing, but what are some things on your end? Because you're the guy that gives us a lot of the film. What's stuff that you've learned with some of the social media? Because we started our Instagram this year. What is it with social media and YouTube that you've kind of learned over this last year? Because the whole intent was just to share stuff and educate people to the best of our ability with what we've got for now.
I can't believe it's been a year.
Yeah.
That just doesn't seem possible. Social media is something I'm just like, God, I'm a technological, I'm a caveman. Yeah. I don't care for it. It's handy when you got it, but I can screw something up so easily. It's not even funny. I think I'm getting a little bit better at it. I don't know. I mean, I get a lot of feedback from you and your mom about, hey, you need to do it this way. Oh, I never thought of that. Okay. So, and one of the things it's interesting is, to me, just what other people think is interesting that I think is completely and totally mundane. I was like, why would I even film that?
Well, and then there's other things that we were like, hey, these people are going to really enjoy it. And it like flopped. There was like 6 views. And then we've got other stuff that we're like, hey, we're going to share it because Dunroven, we work very close with our friends over at the Dunroven Ranch in Western Montana. It's a cyber ranch. And we're like, hey, we're going to make this 20-minute video. It's a standard, hey, we'll have maybe 30 people see it. 7,500 views later. Like, it's okay, not what I thought.
Yeah, it's really funny because you can't predict. It's like I said before, when I thought that I had it figured out who's going to come and look at a horse and buy it, and a guy he'll kick the dirt and with his toe of his boot and I don't know, and I'll have to think about it. And the next guy, he's driving in with a horse trader and he's all hot to buy, and then he leaves and you go, oh, he thought he was going to buy. Oh, okay. And the guy who kicked the toe in his dirt and couldn't decide is the one who shows up, calls. So you can't predict what people, what they like or what's, their needs are for. And I don't know, maybe some of it's a little bit of entertaining. I hope we're entertaining at times, but
I hope so.
Yeah, because
it's not going to be fun if it's not entertaining.
Exactly. But also learn at the same time. And, the problem is the fun part is tough for me sometimes because I'm passionate about the horses and this is a lifestyle. And so, it's a hard lifestyle. This is not easy. Your mother, I keep saying this, she could have been a gentleman's wife, instead of working like she does. And it's tough. It's not an easy life. And so there's a lot of humor to it. A lot of funny things happen or things that you got to laugh off and like, well, that didn't work out. Better next time, as a wreck is happening. So you got to look at it one way or the other. But it just amazes me what people are intrigued by, I guess. And some of the most mundane things, like, that wasn't even worth picking up a camera for. I don't know why I did that. And I'm learning to take this phone with me more and more and more. I mean, that's, I get halfway through something. Oh, I should have filmed that because they're going to say, why didn't you film that? Yeah.
It's like the other day, I was talking to you and Mom. I was like, hey, have you started doing filming? Like for hay, for example. It was for the incoming hay for this year. Like, did you start filming yet? No. I'm like, film.
Well, and I filmed the whole, making the the pallet fork into a hay spear.
Mhm.
I did all of that, and then at the end of it's basically showing how we're pulling them off the trailer, how it's working, and putting them in a stack. So it did kind of incorporate that, but I never thought of it, about the hay part of it until you had said that. So it was kind of funny. Yeah, so that's kind of the interesting thing, that you never know what somebody's going to like, and something that we think is super important. It's like, hey,
Right.
people really need to know about this. It's like,
And they
and
don't
maybe
care. Yeah.
they don't care, or maybe they, like our food supply. We talk a lot about that, like where it comes from, and I think some people are care about that, but I think they take it for granted that we got to save food supply. So what?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of one of them. But it's interesting, very interesting. Um,
So
I
the
just
other thing too is like you, what was it, 2, maybe 3 years ago, you started doing what Suzanne Miller at the Dunrovin Ranch calls teletraining. And
right.
in a sense, that was kind of in a weird way, that was it was a premonition of what would happen here. Because we didn't originally want to do a YouTube channel. We wanted to do a podcast, which we want to now do a podcast because we have the audio files. That was the original intent. And it just became, hey, it's going to be easier to go YouTube first. So that's what we did. And
Was that the decision I made?
that was the
As I'm
decision
just
I
going
made
along
because
with
I'm
it.
the one. I'm the one
Exactly.
doing this. But anyway, the thing that I think is interesting is you do teletraining, which is beforehand it was kind of like Zoom, but it wasn't because Zoom wasn't around yet. And you managed to help a young wrangler at the Dunrovin Ranch train a horse through telephonic means, much like this. And now it has turned into utilizing Zoom to do the same thing. But how has that been similar and different, and how has that also helped you kind of like figure out how to do this? Because I think it, in a weird way, it really ties everything together for you, doesn't it?
Well, in a way it does, but you got to remember, just the Dunrovin teletraining, believe it or not, we've been doing for like 6 years,
Oh, a
5 years.
lot longer than I thought. Then I thought it was only 2 or
Yeah,
3.
a little over 5 years. It's like, holy mackerel, where did that time go?
Mhm.
So we did videos before that, training videos. I've done clinics, so I'm comfortable in front of people. But this is different because people are out there, and the teletraining is live. That's live streamed, so that goes all over the world. There are people that stay up, like in Japan. Their
Mm.
their their time schedule is way off from ours, and people stay up to watch us in real time. It's
Interesting.
crazy, to me. I mean, so that you're talking to an audience, and it's not edited, it's just happening as it happens. This is a little different, where we have to edit things out that are not interesting, I mean, for the video. So that's a little different. Um, but I think it's keeping in mind all the time, what is your audience, what would they find interesting, what would they do? And I've learned how to, and I can do this, sometimes, and it's not the most uh, flattering thing to say about myself, but when things are going wrong, I can cuss like a sailor,
Yeah.
I say bad things. But when I started teaching clinics years ago, a switch happens. You can just turn that off. And so your language, and watching how you try to communicate, and trying to be articulate, and at the same time on point about what you're trying to do. I mean, it's actually work. It's mentally, it's kind of a tough thing to do, because you're trying to anticipate what they want, or what the audience would want, what you need to communicate while it's happening, and at the same time react but yet predict. And it's not easy. It's a lot harder than you would think. And you can do that in a clinic setting, but you're doing it in real time.
Right.
And so it's a little different. But it's one thing I'm very uncomfortable with, is watching myself on film and hearing my voice. It's
So
like,
I
oh my
I got
God.
over that really quick.
Yeah, I
The amount of
still,
editing I do though, with seeing us go back and forth constantly, because what
yeah.
ends up happening is I also, while I'm editing, I'm using it as, oh, Calen, you're saying this word constantly. Start
Right.
dropping that.
Yes.
Like, or you're
Um,
transitioning to a new subject by using the same phrase every time. Stop. It's a great way for me to, I got over the voice thing really quick, but now I'm hearing similar phrases time and time again. And
yeah.
that's where I'm starting to get to, okay, change it, learn new words, go look at the dictionary, talk to the
Yeah.
thesaurus.
We've never talked about that before, but I catch myself going, I'll turn the camera on. Okay, here we go. You know, and it's
So,
like, okay, that
I'm
was
gonna
totally
I'm gonna pick on
unnecessary.
you for a second.
Yeah,
Every
do it.
time I get a video, it normally goes, "Hey, this is Brandon from Hashknife." I have 90% of the time, I have to wait until the "hey" is done, and I find it, and I click it, and I cut it, and then I just delete. I'm like, "This is Brandon from the Hashknife."
There you go. You know, and or I'll say hello. You know,
And that's okay, but I get the
yeah,
"hey." I'm like,
yeah.
"Damn it, Dad! Damn
I'm
it!"
like, I'm like the old Fonzie. You know,
It's the
what a
fonts.
dork.
Oh
I'm
goodness.
such a dork. But that's what I mean. You
Uh,
know, things like that. You know, we just like that fillers while you're thinking.
Us.
Uh,
I've caught
um,
myself doing a lot of uhs and ums.
yeah, and I hate that when I do that. I just hate it. But you know, being conscious of that or trying to be more conscious of that and using the pregnant pause for its purpose. You don't have to keep filling airtime. People understand that filler. You know, they understand that when you stop talking and then when you re-engage, that's for effect.
Right.
And it's you can think without having to talk. And that's been a tough one for me because I think about filling that airtime and you don't need to.
Yeah. No, I
And then
agree.
but like, you know, when I'm clean shaved all the time and you know, I'm just am what I do. You know, I'm not getting ready for this thing by any means, you know. So it's just you get what you get.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. But we appreciate everybody who has liked, comment, and subscribed to this point. Anybody who's
Absolutely.
stuck around and watched the end of this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Join us. Check out our Instagram. Check out our Facebook. Anything like that. Enjoy it because what we're trying to do, and give us feedback because we're trying
Yeah,
to just
feedback.
educate. This is what we started off. Would we like this to be a passive income for the family business? Absolutely. But we're not there right now. We have done this completely out of passion, enjoyment, and hopefully kind of getting people to understand where we're coming from as a producer, especially within the food chain, and why we see things a certain way and why we may at times feel attacked and angered. But that's where we come from.
Well, and it's the horses, the cattle. I have not done this at a clinic because I think that might be a little cumbersome, but you know, try to film that. It'd be really hard. But sharing with you, you know, some of the great things that happen. The calving time, foaling time, that is, I mean, that's my favorite. It really is. But I like it all. But you know, those comments about what would you like to hear about? What would you like to see? Ask those questions. We love that. And
I
it's
love the
something that,
engagement because I'm the guy
yeah,
that's typically commenting on the YouTube. You're like, why are you doing that? Well, here's why. I enjoy it. I really do. I
yeah.
don't have much time, but when I do, I enjoy commenting and engaging with the
But
crew.
that's the whole point. Yeah, and you're exactly right. It's about education, sharing our lifestyle with them, with
Yeah. So
whoever.
that's us. That's a year. Thanks, folks. We
Thank
will
you.
keep going. Stick around.
Keep mashing that subscribe and like button. Ding that bell.